Hello and welcome to round 5 of the Rilton Cup. It's the last day of 2018 and I'm joined for the last time by the legendary Grandmaster Ulf Andersson. Ulf, how are you today?
Fine, thank you. Yeah, I'm looking forward for this round to see if there will be perhaps a sole leader.
Yes, because we have no more sole leaders, we have no more players on a perfect score. We have 11 players on 3.5 out of 4, so those will be facing off today. It will be interesting to see what happens. It's the last day not only of the year but also the last round before the rest day. Tomorrow, January 1st, will be a day off here at the Rilton Cup. After that, I will be joined for the last 4 rounds by international master Jonathan Westerberg. So it will be interesting to see what approach the players take today. See if they take it easy, get ready for maybe tonight's celebrations, or if there is a big fight before what will be the rest day.
Yeah.
What are your predictions? Are we going to see a lot of blood on the top boards?
Well, this board, number he played the Russian defense, and it leads normally to safe positions, and most games end up with a draw. But they got an unusual position of the Russian defense here. First, it was symmetrical for many moves, and then Nabati decided to avoid the symmetrical setup, and well, as you can see here, black has destroyed a little bit the white pawn structure on the king side, but meanwhile he had to make a little bit weakening move g5 himself.
Shall we go through the opening moves and see how we got to this position?
Yes. e4, e5, f3.
Nabati, the top seed here at the Rilton Cup, who's been playing some. Okay, the Petrov, of course, is a very standard defense, but Nabati has been playing some strange openings so far in the tournament. Some very offbeat. Yesterday, with the white pieces, he played d4, knight f6, knight d2, which I had never seen. I think even you said that you hadn't really seen it before either. So I don't know actually if the Petrov is his normal repertoire, but he seems to have been experimenting a bit with openings in this tournament.
Takes d6.
The Petrov, which these days, of course, has been employed most famously by Caruana.
But soon here. Now the most common move here is d4. Lately also we've been playing, white has been playing knight c3 and so on, but the most common move is d4, and then the knight remains for a while here on e4, and the question is knight good here or not? So, but then Hebla decides to play d3, so it's completely symmetrical now, and then d4, and black plays d5, and we can see here for how long time they continue with symmetrics here. Bishop here, castles, and h3 to prevent the bishop g4, I suppose.
So this is the first moment when black doesn't follow and plays knight c6.
Knight c6.
And white immediately goes bishop g5.
Yes, and then h6, bishop h4, and g5, because doesn't want to stay in the pin. D5 and bishop G3, and now when they, for instance, if the pawn would have been on H2, I wonder how he would have recaptured in this moment if he would play H takes or F takes. F is a little bit, what shall I say, ugly for the pawn structure, but it opens the F file, and the king very safe on H2 or H1, no checks, nothing. And if White can gain some play on the F line, but Nabate plays quickly here, knight E4, I think good move.
What is interesting in this position here, it's White to move, and I think White has been thinking for over half an hour already. Because we can see that all the first 13 moves were played relatively quickly.
Yes.
So that means that Hiberla has been thinking for a long, long time here.
Yes. Well, he is hitting the G3 pawn, but if the bishop, for instance, from C8 could come to F5, G6, with the pawn F6 and king G7, it would be very safe for the king, and also trying to keep the control on the E4 square.
So what are White's options? I guess king H2,
King H2
must be one option.
King H2, and then maybe, maybe it's possible to play Queen D6 to hit this pawn again. Because it doesn't look so nice if you have to take on E4 with White. It's not, doesn't look right somehow.
No, yeah. But the problem is, okay, let's have a look at King H2, because the problem is also after King H2, Queen D6, what next?
Yeah. Then
we can put it on the board maybe.
Yes.
And have a look.
King here.
Queen D6. Because I guess you never really want to play Queen E1, because then maybe Rook E8 or something.
Yes. Yeah, that looks good for black. Yeah. Rook E8. And yes, this looks very nice for black.
But on the other hand, you don't really have another move to defend G3, so I guess you might have to take.
Yeah.
Which also I guess you don't really want to.
No, because the D pawn will be weak here, and the black king, so to say, it's not really open. It's open, but it's not really open. It's difficult to attack against this G5 setup. So
okay, so let's go back to the position on the board.
yes.
Knight E4.
So yes, what to do then after knight E4? Yes, knight E4 is a good move.
So what happens if we... Now we can't even take the knight because we're going to drop D4, I guess, yes?
Yes.
And G4 also doesn't look like a move you want to play, but
it's the only move. Does it lose a pawn? No?
Yeah, maybe.
Yes. We try this to see if we can do something here.
Can black even consider a move like F5, or is that too much?
Yeah, maybe he can do this. He's opening the king a little bit more, but it's somehow white doesn't come to any plan, I suppose, to attack the black king. It's looks safe. And if the bishop will come out here, then it's all quite good for black.
Okay, so this game, I mean, usually the Petrov leads to quite, balanced positions. But today, I think we're in for an interesting fight.
Yes.
On the top board. So let's come back to this one a little bit later.
Yes.
Let's have a look at the other leaders. Let's go down maybe to board 2, where Santos Ruiz is playing against Maxime Lagarde. Okay, I suggest let's go to the beginning and see briefly what happened. Sicilian opening again. We haven't had so many we haven't had so many Rui Lopez's. We haven't had so many Sicilians.
Yes.
So that's good to see.
And also in the Sicilian, white avoids the real Sicilian, so to say, playing with bishop b5. g6. Takes right away.
Excuse me.
g3. Yes, normally white wants to keep this bishop out of play, and to keep a knight versus the bishop, because this bishop on c8 can become a weak piece later on. But so far, at least it's a bishop pair, but doesn't mean so much yet in this position. Knight f6, yes. Knight c3. Knight e7. Yeah, this is good. The knight has the aim sometimes to go to f8, e6, and then to occupy the d4 square, just to disturb. Yes. Bishop e3, e5. Yes.
To get even more of a grip.
Yes. And here black wants to maintain the bishop pair, so he plays
h6.
h6.
To stop bishop h6, let's say if black had castled.
Yes.
White would play bishop h6. White now castles himself.
Yes.
b6.
Yes.
Both defending c5 and also... What about the bishop on c8? Where is that going to go?
Yeah, this is the point. Yeah, this bishop is not so good. But the question is, if black should try to, well, if he will put the knight on e6, knight d4, and bishop e6, or if he tries just to get the bishop here with the knight and the knight back to d7 later, but it's nice, maybe nicer to get the knight to d4 and then bishop here. And when white plays for f4, for instance, the game, it opens for this bishop. Black takes on f4 always and has another good square on e5 and e6, and this is not bad for black. The only the only problem is how can black gets to castle king side, because h6 is hanging. Otherwise he has to castle queen side like Carlsen did, no?
Yes, exactly.
In the match, yes.
Actually, I have another question. Is it ever possible, is it ever an option to put the bishop on a6 and play c4? Or is the pawn good on c5 controlling?
Yeah, maybe maybe, yes, bishop a6. Yeah, the idea, well, if you can get c4 in, it would normally be good to get rid of the double pawns and so. And I'm thinking if he will just play b3 perhaps, to prevent c4 as long as possible.
Okay, so let's see. We had a few more moves. So white now played knight h2.
Yes.
Probably preparing f4.
Yes.
And the knight went to f8.
And now comes this f4. Takes with the rook.
Rook take, that is interesting. I was more...
I would like to have the... Let me see how to get this. Maybe with the bishop on e6, and maybe trying to come back with the knight to d7.
Yeah, well, actually, black did play bishop e6.
Yes.
And that is the position we have on the board right now.
Yes. And then the knight is probably coming back to d7 when it comes to e5. Good squares for the minor pieces here. And if doubling on the f file, it's not anything special, no, because it's f7 is well protected.
I guess it is even possible that black will castle queenside.
Sorry?
It is possible that black will castle queenside, I guess.
Yes, yes. And for instance, both the bishops, if you look at, they are both nice. They have nice diagonals here on the queen side, and maybe black can even do like Carlsen did, to castle queen side and trying to do something here with the pawns later on, because the question is, I don't see how white can proceed, what to do. One has the maybe best position with doubling the rooks and so, but then how to proceed to get something.
Okay, so another interesting game, I would say. This one I'm also... So first two games, both very interesting on the top two boards. Let's move on to board 3. Frode Urkedal against Kartikeyan.
Yes.
Okay, and again, at first sight, that looks very exciting with opposite sides castlings.
Yes.
Should we also take it from the beginning?
Yes, that's a good idea.
So a clash there on board 3 between two rather young grandmasters. I think they're maybe in their late teens, early 20s.
Yes. Yeah, this move has become rather popular, this HD move. Because it can be against, for instance, if c5, the idea is, if it's like this, e6, going for the Benoni, white can play bishop d3 here. And when this will be taken, you can take with the e-pawn also, but here maybe this is the most common. And there is no bishop g4 and knight g4 disturbing later on, and black normally plays with some aggressive stuff here with b5, I think it is, with but white can also play, I think, this way, because if rook e8 check, you can play this move, bishop e3, and the dangerous move for black is to play bishop h6 in order to win the pawn here, but white will castle kingside, have queen d2 and strong pressure on the f5.
F5,
Yes. I think there's an old game with Botvinnik, is maybe a standard game of how to play this with white. Yes.
So instead of that, black went e5
Yes.
instead of c5.
And then d5, closing the center.
I guess all of this so far is a theoretical, all theory.
Yes.
I think it's very likely that both players are very well prepared and know their opening as well.
Yes.
So
Yes.
might at some point be some
Maybe.
sort of even memory
Yeah.
battle.
Yes. Because many years ago there was a very nice game played by Kasparov with black pieces against Kavalek, American player Kavalek, and he played very aggressive with black, Kasparov, and sacrificed a piece, and he won a brilliant game, good game with tactics involved with positional play and a good game, really good game. I think that was with knight a6 here, not with the tempo move with a5 and then knight a6. I think it was knight a6 right away.
I guess I wonder, okay, we're probably going to disturb the board a little bit on your screens, but I wonder if we can go here and see if it was in that position. Let's see if we sort according to black rating. So Kasparov did play this. He had one game, a game against Kurt Hansen, actually, from this position.
Yes.
It must have been a slightly different position then, unless it's not in the database, but that would be surprising. But yeah, it must have been something very similar. And if you have an interest, I'm sure people can just Google Kavalek, Kasparov, and they will find.
It was Kavalek, against Kavalek. I think it was played in Bogojno in Yugoslavia at that time.
Okay, so let's see. So white now played bishop e3.
Yes.
Knight h5. So far both players blitzed out the moves. G3.
G3, yes. And then f5. E takes f. G takes f. Now it's interesting if you take on e5. Maybe it's possible to.
Let's have a look. Knight takes e5.
Maybe two moves are possible. Maybe f4 or knight takes
G3.
g3. Would be playable. It's a sharp game, very sharp game.
But I'm sure that white must still be in his preparation because he played knight h4 after only 24 seconds.
Yes.
Black responded by going back with the knight to f6.
Yes, yes.
And now is the first moment when the players took some time. So after knight f6,
F6.
queen d2. And now black spent over 20 minutes on his next move, knight c5. Castles.
Yeah, in those moments, if white is has decided to castle queen side more or less, no? Otherwise, if one could castle king side, it would be perhaps safer for the king. But it's an interesting position. Can be very sharp game this. Always dangerous to castle queenside like this because the bishop diagonal is open.
Yes.
It's different if there's a white pawn on e4 closing, but it's open always with possibilities of e4 or even f4 and then e4. Just so the idea to open just the diagonal and to disturb b2. Also things with a6, b5 comes in consideration.
And by the way, in the chat on Chess24, Pawn Pusher kindly linked us to the Kavalek against Kasparov game, which Kasparov won in only 27 moves.
Yes.
So if you want to find that game, you can go into the chat on Chess24. Also, if you have any questions or comments for us, that's one way of getting in touch. And the other, of course, is over Twitter using hashtag Rilton Cup. So b6.
I played b6, and also he wants to play a5 just to secure the knight, and also maybe sometimes against bishop takes c5, so he wants to take with a b pawn. But many times it's not bad to take with a d pawn because it gives a square on d6, and if, for instance, if the knight can maneuver to e8 and to d6, that would be perhaps even better than to take with a b pawn on c5, because a knight is a beautiful square, and also white has got rid of his black square, which is very important to keep, and he changes this, and then the bishop on d7 will be even more powerful on this long diagonal.
So that is the position on the board, a very double-edged
yes,
and complex position. What would you rather play on the white or on the black side? If I can exchange this bishop with some moment on bishop h6, then I don't mind to play white. But so let's see what would happen after bishop h6. Huh?
But he has with knight e4
Knight.
here things.
Simply, yeah.
Knight e4, and then it's hanging later on f2.
So it just doesn't work at all.
No, and then somehow it's not so easy maybe to play with the white. I have to be careful always for this.
Okay, so we'll come back to this very interesting game a bit later. Let's continue. Let's go to board number 4. So on board 4 we have Sergei Volkov playing against Lalit Babu.
Yes.
I don't know, do you want to, shall we maybe just look at the current positions then or do you want to?
No, we can have it comes probably from Queen's Gambit, and this is a rather typical setup for both players in the Queen's Gambit. White is trying for the minority attack, and black is placing the pieces as well as possible against this, and many times it will be a position with later with those 5 pawns against c6, d5, and those everything will be exchanged here. And then white has a clear target on c6, but it's difficult to win the pawn.
Yes.
It's very difficult to win the pawn.
There's still a couple more pawns, of course, on the board and a lot more pieces at the moment.
Yes.
So what are the plans? Where is black going to put his pieces, let's say?
Yeah, these are standing quite well. The idea is, I don't think there's any attack on the king side, because white has put the pieces nicely on d2. It is forthcoming to f1 to defend if it's needed, and slowly he will play b4 and then b5 to get this, and but black is solid anyway. Even after b4, a takes b4, maybe a takes, and then yeah, and late if white gets b5 in, we have this position later with 5 against 5. It will be because he will take on c6.
And maybe a small edge for white
Yeah,
because of that pawn
yes.
on c6.
He has a target to play against, and black has nothing to play against. White is too solid, but there is little material, and normally I would think that the games end up with a draw, those positions. But there is play. It's possible to swing around, move around, and maybe there will be some mistake, the time pressure later on, and some mistake. And
so we will come back to see this game a bit later. Let's move on. The last game of 2 players on 3.5 out of 4 is board 5, Gopal and Golami. Okay, not a very interesting position. The pawns on the king's side, the white pawns have been quite adventurous.
Yes. Yeah, this is very...
Let's see how we got here, because it's very difficult to know what this came from. Okay, Caro-Kann. Yesterday we saw Tiger Hiller-Persson play the Caro-Kann. He actually, if you were with us yesterday, we were looking at this quick game quite a lot that Tiger played against a young German opponent. And Tiger actually came into the room yesterday evening when Ulf and I finished here, and he said that no, he was not familiar, that he was they were following this game between Karyakin and Elyanov, and that he had not liked his position. I think it was a good escape and a good win from Tiger from what was a somewhat difficult position.
This position also is a kind of modern, new fashioned play. This c5 should be 3. Black is positioned well off with the bishop outside this pawn chain, but he's a bit slow in development. Yes.
Once again, both players played all the moves very quickly until here, so I guess they're still following some sort of theory or preparation.
Yes. B4, C7, Rook C1. Bishop B7. G4, nice pushing. Yes, becomes very interesting. It's a dangerous position to play for both sides.
Yeah.
If white doesn't succeed with this, if it's not, well, it has to be good. Otherwise, it's just weakening.
And he played
Bishop E4. So in here, this, For instance, if the bishop would have remained on c8, if we would have this position with the bishop on c8, it would be perhaps a dangerous attack for white with bishop to d3, and it's like the French defense, and the black king side would be very weak. So it's good when it's here. Arrow there. Bishop.
D4.
D4. It's interesting positional move. This is positional sacrifice of a pawn.
Yes, I need a moment here to understand what is going on. So white took on e4, but what happens if we take on d4?
If you take on d4, maybe it's well.
Is he gonna take on b4? Can we have? Let's have a look.
So, because the bishop is still hanging.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe this is also good to just to take the pawn like this.
What was black's idea here?
Maybe take this on c5, but try to play for a square.
And what? Don't know. Okay, let's have a look. Bishop takes c5. Rook takes. Yeah.
Rook, yes.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, and then I guess we have to move the queen. Queen d7 maybe.
I'm slightly where is black's compensation? Can you explain to us?
Something like this, and play for the square on d5 to have some, because the bishop on e3 is not really a very strong piece in these positions, but yeah, it's interesting practical play for black to play like this. White has to make maybe the good moves later on, so to say.
Okay, so instead of that, white decided to take on e4.
Yes, so and then d takes e3.
And queen e1.
And then queen e1. Yes.
And now an interesting move, g5.
Oh, yeah, maybe this is a very good move in order to get play against
Undermine.
the e5 pawn. Interesting play, at least. Did he play yet? Oh, he's thinking now.
Okay, so what are our options?
Yes. If one takes here, take here.
If we decide to take on g5, I guess we're going to take with the pawn, not with the knight.
Yes, yes. And then he takes
Because the knight
here.
is quite well placed at the moment on e4, I guess.
How do, with the knight or with the queen? I don't know. What do you think?
At first sight, I would take with the queen, but I'm not sure.
Yes.
Because, okay, I mean, we're hitting e4 and g5.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if white can even defend both. Can I play knight f6?
Probably to take, no?
Mm-hmm.
Because if king here, I don't. Yeah, maybe it's possible, but
Maybe queen h4 then? Or?
yes, yes. Yeah, we make this to see.
Now I guess pawn takes, so because after rook takes, can you take on g5? I guess.
If you take with the rook.
Yeah.
Or we,
I want to take with the pawn
yes.
because I'm worried otherwise you will take my pawn.
Yes. And then, yeah, this is.
But this suddenly I like. I think I quite like for black.
Yes.
I don't know. Can I play rook g8 or maybe h5 immediately?
Yeah, this is.
Maybe h5 immediately.
Yeah, maybe
actually.
immediately. Yeah, it looks quite pleasant for black.
Yeah,
no?
I agree.
Yes. I like this too. White doesn't have, say, so well coordination with the piece, with the just nothing. And this pawn is disturbing the one on e3.
Yeah, this looks quite nice for black. So let's go back to the position on the board.
Yes.
After g5.
Yes.
So if we don't take on g5.
I was thinking also of
Queen g3. Let's have a look at that. Okay, so what will happen if I take on f4?
Yes, this, and I suppose queen takes.
And I was wondering if I could be greedy and take on e5.
So, I don't see the real attack for white. But maybe there is something, or if one should just
maybe
take the pawn, but then it is something else. But
is there any way we can try and chase that knight? Okay, what if I just give a check to start with on b5? I wanted to give a check on b5, maybe.
Yes. Yes, this, then to go with the king. Can I go with it? I cannot move the knight.
Yeah, you can't, so you can't move the knight because I will take on f7. So there are only two moves, really. I don't believe that rook d7 can be a move, so king f8 looks like the only.
And then this.
And then I might give a check on h6, maybe.
Yes.
I don't know, maybe if there is something better, but it looks quite nice to play against this king on g8.
Yes.
If we believe the bar, there must even be a blow for white immediately somewhere, because the bar is saying +3.
Yes.
But where is it?
Yeah, that.
I was even wondering if there's ever a move like rook f7, but it's too early now. It's too.
Ah, well, we can see. Yes.
I don't think it works. It's just I got a bit tempted.
Maybe taking with the knight.
I guess you have to take with the knight, yeah,
Yeah.
because after king takes, rook f1, I'm not sure if there is any...
Yes. And check. No.
Yeah, rook f1.
The king must go back.
And I will take on
And
e6.
then e6. Yes. Take here.
And
King there.
sorry to believe that black can survive, but maybe it can.
Yes. Yeah, black needs
Just one move.
yeah, one more rook f8.
Mm.
Then he gets the square h8 for the king.
Nej, men Erik, får man sitta och titta?
And maybe I don't have
Lyssna på
anything.
lite kunskap. Det ska vara tyst.
Yeah, maybe it's not... okay, maybe knight f7, just rook f7 is just too
Yeah.
hasty.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so let's go back. So we got this position.
I want to say just Grandmaster Lars Karlsson from Sweden just came in
Into the
here.
room,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
a pleasure, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if you would like, I'm very happy to take a break. If you would like to do some commentary, I'm very happy to step aside. If you would like to do some together.
What?
If you would like to join Ulf for a little bit.
Or to join you, we can
Or
join
to
you
join-
also.
Well,
Yeah.
I
If you want,
I
if
was
you-
sitting in my kitchen and listened to you and was very happy.
Yeah.
That is my only ambition. Not sitting in the television and
Yeah.
I really, yeah. Well, yeah, for 5 minutes, just for fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, thank you.
It's an honor, of course.
It's an honor for us to
Yeah.
have you here. I think it would be very nice to have you too. Whenever you want to join, just let me know. We will give you some time to maybe settle in.
Well, if you have some interesting position, yes, but it's always some interesting position in chess.
I think today we have a
you
few.
don't need to look. It must be a
Yeah.
lot of interesting positions. Yeah.
Well, I think we have this position on the board right now, which
This is
He
fantastic.
played Queen G3.
he played Queen G3.
Yeah, yes, yes,
It's full moon, yeah, when they play it.
yes.
Like a full moon day. yeah.
Yes.
I could feel that I'm going to be a wolf when I see it. Ulf, what do you say? The wolf. Look. You must feel the wolf feeling now, yeah? This is fantastic position.
Yes.
But,
It's very, I mean, it's very double-edged.
but Black's king is worse, yeah?
Yes.
That's very important.
Black actually just played one move ago. He played G5 in this position.
Very, very ambitious.
Mm. The black player, who's a young, we checked yesterday, 17-year-old
When you're young,
Golami.
you should play this kind of game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wolf and I don't do this. Yeah? Not any longer.
So Queen G3, and
Yeah,
now
because
black.
F7 is very weak here somehow, yeah?
Yes. So black has taken on F4,
And Queen takes.
and Queen
Yeah,
takes, I
yeah.
guess, will be played.
Yes.
Yeah, even my mother should do that. Well, she's not living, but when she was 96, she should do this move.
So Queen F4, and that's the position we were just analyzing. I was
Yeah.
wondering if with black, if I could be greedy and take on E5.
Bishop E5 check.
Yeah, so that is what we were looking at. We
That
were
looks
looking at this.
Really crazy, huh?
I don't know if Queen H6 is forced, and then here I suggested Rook F7, but I think it's too ambitious.
That was my first thought too, but even G5 very slow, then Knight F6.
G5, yeah, with like
You know what? How about we have a quick swap, and you and
Yeah.
Ulf take over here for 5 minutes? It would be my pleasure to watch you.
Okay. Looking at this,
Yes.
yeah, what we said, the black king is weak here, yeah, but I don't know. The white king can be weak after rook d2 sometimes too, you know.
Yes.
What happened on g5?
G5, yes.
It's very, very straight.
Yes.
Is it possible? What have we to lose? It's the last day in the year, yeah? We can do anything this day.
Yeah. Yes.
Give us completely freedom. Very nice, yeah. So I like to make the attacking move, and you are the one of the best defend player, you know. So you should defend this now. Very nice feeling. You know? If you cannot defend it, nobody can do. So defend this now. We know each other for many years, you know. This is my rule. And I'm stronger than you physically. Yeah? But maybe you find something here, Ulf. Yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah.
I was considering rook d2 sometimes and these things.
Ah, yes. But next he would play knight f6.
Very, very, very brutal.
And it's brutal, really. Yeah.
You don't need to be smart here. You just need to be brutal.
Yeah.
To feel the blood, you know.
Yeah.
What to do, you know. Knight g4. That's the move, yeah.
Ah,
So
yeah.
maybe what
Queen h5.
maybe rook f7 is interesting still, what we were talking about before, but okay. No, I don't believe it so much.
So?
Maybe. We can take on h2 sometimes. No, we cannot do that.
Well, can we take one?
No, we cannot do that. No, queen h5 is very strong, yeah. We can go back. But
This, yeah.
and if you go back. So is it possible to take on f7 and g6 or something?
Ah,
And after that rook f1 and so what do you think?
yeah, maybe
That's fun in a way.
we can
Should we try that?
We try this,
It's
yes.
just for fun. You know.
This
Chess is an adventure, yeah. Like the life.
takes. And we
G6, yeah. I like that. Now I feel better. Even if we lose, I like this.
Yeah. This.
You know, rook f1 later. It's not possible.
Of
because
course, rook f1.
No, it's not possible because always h2 is hanging.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, so
that's
this is completely wrong. So we can go
Yeah,
back. So we
yeah,
know we
yeah,
understand.
yeah,
I
yeah.
understand in a way a little
Yeah,
more that
yeah,
h2
no.
is hanging
Is-
always in
yes,
this kind of variation.
yes,
So it's not.
yes.
So it's even more interesting now, yeah. Because if this was just winning, it's not so interesting. So now we can even more difficult now, yeah.
Yes.
So this is maybe defendable.
We have here.
You just put on this, yeah. But the white is
Maybe this again here. Ah, you mean after rook takes? No, g5 first.
knight g4.
Knight g4. Queen here.
Now we must do something else, maybe. Yeah. We can move the bishop. No, we cannot move the bishop.
We go back here. So. And then it's a question again.
I have a question. If you go back, what happened? No, it's not possible. Yeah, we must go back. Yeah.
I think so,
Yeah.
because f7 is hanging
Yeah.
also.
Yeah. So what to do now? It's not so easy.
You know,
I have one idea just to play rook d1 in one movement because
rook
d1 just because his rook is on h8 to use
Yeah, yeah.
somehow
Yeah,
rook
yeah.
d7 later or something.
Yes.
Because the bishop on b5 is covering e2 and the queen is covering two ways. So it's,
Yeah,
that's real prophylaxis. Yes.
yeah,
That's give freedom to both of the pieces.
yeah. This rook is out of play here, so.
Just to try to use that the rook is very strange on h8.
Yes, I think so.
Some
It
kind of
make-
logic, yes.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because the knight is perfect on e4. It's the only
Yeah.
problem with it, it's not covered, yes?
Yeah.
I like the knight, but
Yes.
it's not covered. But he cannot... And the bishop on b5 is okay because it's covered on e2.
Yes.
So we have maybe time here, if you don't have h6 or something.
Yes.
But I don't believe that.
No.
I just want to see...
If we take. No,
what
okay,
happened here?
no. Ah,
A
so-
rook takes, probably.
Yes.
No, rook d7 is a threat. I'm afraid of e2, queen b6 check, and something like that. But
Ah, yeah.
queen b6, but bishop e2.
Bishop e2.
And
Okay.
e2 immediately?
We take with the
Yes, nothing, because
bishop, no?
because the knight is so fantastic on e4.
Yes.
It defend everything, you know.
Yeah, this one shouldn't be changed.
Yeah, because
no?
now it's a rook up.
Yes.
We don't try to attack, we try to use the
No,
rook now.
No. Yeah, this one will only be exchanged on f6 when it's made.
It's
Otherwise,
horrible. I think we
keep
understand.
it, yes.
think we maybe understand the position, but
Yes.
when they make a move, maybe we don't understand nothing. You know?
Yeah.
It's so complicated, these
Yeah,
positions.
it's very
But
complicated.
should
Actually,
we?
black has castled in the game after queen takes f4.
Wow, I like that. If it works.
After queen takes f4 castles.
Now we will look at this position. Yes.
Ah, yes.
Very, very interesting because we're talking about the rook.
Yes.
Now, anyway, the rook is out. It's possible to play with the rook. Have you the right position, Ulf?
This.
Ja, de har rokerat.
He make
You can
castle.
just click on the move, on the castle move.
I made queen
Yeah.
f4. And castles.
I like a castle if it
Yes.
works.
Yes.
If it works.
Then all pieces are
yeah,
okay.
it's perfect move if it works. Very good defending move if it
Yes.
works. No, it's completely different.
Yes.
The strongest player wins.
Yeah.
E5 is hanging.
Yeah. It's difficult to play this position, I believe. I feel.
Very, very difficult.
Yes.
Or should you play B5 to force the knight takes?
Ah. Let's
Strange move, yeah.
see. Because if he can take with the queen, it will resolve.
Yeah, I want to force him
Everything.
to take
Yeah.
with the knight here, yeah.
Yes.
And after that, maybe B6. I don't know if it's good to make B6 or is it bad.
Ah,
You can always put B6 here, if it's good or bad.
yes.
Is it good to make that move, you think?
We can try this also. And
See later, yeah?
A, B, and yes. And then we
See,
see.
I don't know why, but maybe it's good. Okay. I like black
Yes.
somehow.
Yeah, I don't see
I like black.
the real attack.
I like this castle, yeah?
Yeah. very
Nice defending move.
Yes.
Beautiful defending move, yeah?
Yes.
Do you have another some other position?
Ah,
We can
yes.
go back. You mean another game?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can go
Only
back
one.
to-
After that, I go,
Yeah.
you need to work, you know.
I know. We can
I go home to my kitchen and listen to you after this. You know.
in the kitchen.
Yeah, very nice coffee there.
You can pick a game. You can choose a game. Any game you like.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Take something fantastic. Or maybe some interesting, if you see some players who could be interesting. There's a lot of players, interesting players here, but if you go down just for the Swedish audience, if you have one meeting, I think 2 Swedish players playing. Yeah?
We can check Tigers game. We haven't seen that.
Beyond is meeting Blomqvist, but we always Tiger. I like the name Tiger.
Yes.
When I play him, I used to write not Tiger. I used to take his last name. It's not so dangerous name. Tiger, you know, I've read person. Only the family name.
Yes, yes.
And I'm not so scared. Because when I wrote Tiger, you know, one of my sons' name is Björn, you know. It's very strong name too, you know.
Yes, yes.
They make them, so it's better to write a family name when you play Tiger.
Yeah.
Very interesting player. Should we look at Tiger?
Yeah, let's look at Tigers.
He has interesting strategy.
Playing.
He has interesting ideas.
This Russian player.
Wow.
Maxim Shekashikin.
What do you think about this? What is it? What is the bishop on F4 doing here? You know? F6.
This is.
Now he must take on E5. Yeah.
Yes.
Bishop takes E5. He must take. Yeah?
Yes.
Or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because the bishop on B2 is hanging, and
Yeah.
after bishop takes E5, pawn takes, knight takes, bishop takes G2, rook takes D7, and the queen is nearly trapped. You have bishop G5, but anyway.
Interesting.
You have bishop G5, I believe. Yeah. But very interesting ideas, yes.
But maybe he can play bishop takes F3.
Yes, and I was thinking about just to take on G7.
Play position.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Just play the position.
Very
The bad
interesting.
king and 2 pawns.
Yes, yes.
It's possible to play, I believe, yes?
Yeah, I believe too.
Yeah.
Yes. This is interesting.
Because the king is very strange and the pawn on D6 is strange.
Yes.
You just need to win one extra pawn. Nothing is compensation. And I don't know, I like cows, so
Yes.
this is nearly close to cows.
Yes.
Yes. But if you try to be some logic here, it should be okay, yeah?
Yes.
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have 2 pawns and you have nice.
Very
play
nice structure.
It's nice structure.
Even bishop b7 sometimes, but I don't believe that.
Yeah,
Just take the pawn on a6.
Yes.
Because just to get the b5 square for the pieces.
Yes.
The pawn is not so important,
No.
but the square on b5 is important.
Yes, yes. And it can be that the bishop on e7 will be, how you say, statist in Swedish. Just
Yeah. I prefer white here.
spectator.
I don't care what the computer say, but
Yes,
because for human being it's very difficult for black to play this.
yes.
Really difficult. Should we look at the game? What was
Yes.
the position?
Yes.
Do technique, va?
It was
Bra.
like this, and then he played
E5.
e5.
If bishop G5, F6.
Bishop.
G5, F6 and G5. Is it possible, or can it take on G5? Because the bishop on B7 is hanging sometimes, so maybe it's not.
I see.
Or maybe just take on F3. Then you take with the queen. No? Take on F3, you take on E7.
Yes, yes. No, it is bishop takes e5. This is a nice move. Bishop takes e5.
Somehow, white should have something here, yeah?
Yes.
It's some logic, because look at black pieces. You nearly need an extra rule, yeah? Rule number 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, all pieces on these 2 places, 2 round rules. You know, so why not bishop takes e5?
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, but he didn't do that. He's thinking about it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's thinking still.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. The last position before I go. I need to go have some molecules. Har en ställning till bara på skoj när jag går. Kan du hitta en ställning till?
Ja.
Du, kul att titta en sista med dig. Det är som att sitta i köksbordet med dig här.
Ska vi ta Beyond?
Ja, det tycker jag.
We take
Bellon is important.
Beyond against the
Well,
Blomqvist.
I don't know if Bellon agreed that he is Swede, because I don't think so. But anyway, for the Swedish flag, yeah.
Yes.
I think he want to play for the Spanish team, Bellon. Yeah, he said so. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Oh. Det är F4 man ska spela på. Löpare slår först, va? Eller känner man på F4 först? Nej.
Löpare slår här, va?
Ja.
Ja. Probably Bishop takes
A3 and F4.
And F4 play.
And the rook is on A3.
Because it can be dangerous.
Should we look at these two moves? Bishop takes A3, rook takes, and F4. Must be okay for black.
For instance, if not F4, if black would just have this position.
You know why I wanted to play F4 before I took an A? Because the rook must defend the knight. So the rook must go to D3 in that case.
Yes.
If it's possible to, if it's possible to get the rook on, maybe, and after that Bishop F5 or something.
Yes.
It's more forced.
Yes.
But we can look at this. This is.
Yeah, because why? Well, now in this moment, probably.
Yeah. So if you go back,
Yes.
2 moves, should we look om vi kan förstärka den där varianten.
Ja.
Men det är inte säkert, så men vi kan titta på för here
Right.
F4.
F4.
Because it can take on B4.
Maybe take on B4.
Take on E3, take on F8, then take on F2 we check. The queen takes. That's okay for white. If
Yes.
We can have that variation so it's clear, yeah? Bishop takes B4, take on E3, take on F8, F2, king takes. Probably queen takes, yeah?
Yes.
Or queen F3. Even queen F3 is but I don't like that. King G1, yeah?
Yes. And the bishop should
Yeah,
come out.
rook B8.
Or B8.
Maybe black is okay, yeah?
Yes, I think so. Because the knight would be good to have on E5. The knight is standing on the...
Yeah, because of A4. The B3
Yeah.
is weak too, so black is slightly better here probably, yeah?
Yes.
So F4 give him some kind of advantage.
Yeah. F4 is...
But maybe he can get even more if he play the other line. But
Yes.
But F4 give a small advantage. Clear
Yes.
but small.
Yes.
I must leave you now.
Okay.
Thank you very much. It was
thank
very
you
nice. It
for
was like when
coming
you
to-
and me sitting in my kitchen and looking at chess, you know.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Careful if you leave.
I'm very bad.
And we're back. That was very interesting to watch. How did you enjoy that, Ulf, to commentate with your good friend?
Yeah, it was nice.
Meanwhile, I was saying while we were on this short break that unfortunately one of the players, if we show you the list here, I was saying that the young Zhu Chen from China unfortunately didn't show up to the game, so it's possible that he didn't know that today was an earlier starting time.
Yes, most likely it was like that, yes.
I also saw one game which is looking already. One game. Let's go to board 14, where young Johannes Haug is playing against Debashish Das.
Yes.
Where I might have been deceived by the bar once again.
Bishop E3, knight C7.
One other position. Where white has pushed his pawns in front of the king.
Yes, here is. And
but there might not be anything. I have once again been misled by the bar. I was just looking at the evaluation bar, which showed all white, so I thought there was something more. I mean, it's probably a pleasant position for white,
yes,
but nothing too special.
No. This bishop is always good. It's a long diagonal, plus it's a good defensive piece when white is castling king's side. So then it's the London bishop, so to say. It's a good defensive piece and active piece as well.
Okay, so let's come back to this one a little bit later. I wanted to go to board 6 because on board 6 we have the last player who's on 3.5. That is Jesper Thibault from Denmark, a former under-18 European champion. And he is black against Gajewski.
Yes.
So what is going on here? So equal material, opposite color bishops, but when there are more pieces on the board, usually it's said that opposite color bishops favors the attacking side. Does white have any attack?
Yeah, white has nice positional play because squares on f5, d5, and the white squared bishop is better than this one. For instance, if black in such a position could retreat with the pawn to e6, then it would be, I would say, more or less equal. Yes, but when the pawn is one step further here, black has to be careful. He has to be careful. It can be dangerous.
Yeah, I would not be too happy here actually to be black. I mean, there are problems at the moment with the pin on the d file. The knight is threatening to jump to f5.
Yes.
The bishop might come to d3. We might just double on the d file.
Yes.
Looks like there's quite a few issues at the moment with the black position.
Yes.
And there's no obvious way, I think, to...
White is a very good king. Everything positionally placed. The pawns are placed well. And here also everything is good for white. The question is if can disturb black more here on the white square. Must find some good plan in order to do that. Then he's better for sure. Always, yes. Yeah, because queen and bishop is very strong together now against this queen and the bishop on d6, the king is also open on this diagonal a2 to g8. f7 is weak also, and it's a position where you would prefer to have probably the pawn on h7, because then you could play g6
yeah.
sometimes.
But
And
now g6 is probably too weakening, I guess.
yes, no, yes, and yeah, it's yeah. I would be very afraid of these two diagonals for white on the a2 g8 and b1 to h7, and the knight on c6 is not well placed. It would be better on f6, covering h7, for instance. C6 is not a good square for the knight.
Yeah, so a difficult position for Jesper Thibault, but we'll check back in with this one. Let's go back to the top boards, boards 1, 2, 3. We haven't seen them in a little while.
Yes.
So let's start with board number 1, Heberla against Nabati, this Petrov, which was looking very interesting. We left it here after knight e4 when white was spending a long time. He spent 42 minutes actually on the move g4.
Ah, yes. And he played g4.
I mean, it's a very long time to spend on that move, because we had reached the conclusion that g4 was the only move to avoid losing a pawn.
Yes.
So he must have considered, sacrificing, giving up the pawn, but probably didn't find any satisfactory way to give up the pawn and get enough compensation. So g4 and f5, which we considered.
What you proposed before f5 is good. I like this also. This is nice.
So white took on f5. I guess he didn't really have much of a choice but to take.
Yes. And bishop takes.
And knight c3. How is this position? Now it has changed. We had a position before where white had doubled somewhat damaged structure, but a semi-open f-file. Now we have once again a completely symmetrical pawn structure, but how do you evaluate the changes?
Yeah, this is maybe black. Well, black has the square on e4, which is a good square, and the knight is disturbing here. The only thing is, well, the pawn on g5 would be probably nicer to have it on g7 right now, but still the black king is slightly more open, but there is no way really to use this. I don't believe. And on the f line, white doesn't have any special play either. Only later on, maybe if there will be many exchanges, and let's say the queens will remain perhaps on the board with the knight and so, and white can play for something like only that the black king is slightly more open, only that, I believe, but I don't think it is. Still, even so, no danger for black.
Let's see, we had a couple of more moves. So white now played knight b5, hitting the queen. The queen went back to e7.
Yes.
And white went back to c3. So just wanting to chase away the queen.
Yes.
I'm not sure how much white really achieved with this knight b5, knight c3.
He played. This was a kind of, perhaps a kind of draw offer, hoping for queen d6, or just to check out whether black is happy to make a repetition or draw there. But Nabati plays now.
I mean, one of the issues that white has is in the long term, time could become a slight issue. Because he spent a very long time on this g4 move, and he is down to only 20 minutes with over 20 moves still to go. So black made it clear he wasn't interested in a move repetition at the moment and played rook d8.
So.
And white went rook e1.
Rook e1. And then, this is the actual position, yes.
So what is a good square for the... I was wondering, where does the black queen ideally want to go? I guess first, if we want to move the queen, we have to
Yes.
maybe over-defend the knight.
In that case, h7 is a square.
Mm-hmm.
Or if there is no play on the f5, then he could also try rook
Rook
f e8.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow, but in those positions with the knights on c6 and c3, it would perhaps for both players be somehow nicer to have, if white has c3 and black is c6, to defend the d pawns
Mhm.
with the
Yeah.
pawn like that. And but then of course there would be a problem where to place the knights,
Oh.
both knights here.
Could knight b8 be an option, or is that too slow? Knight b8 and then c6, knight d7,
D7.
knight f6, but it's a long way.
Yes.
Also, if I look at the position, if I was black, I would consider at some point see if I can maybe play g4, or am I
this
being
is-
too
Oh,
optimistic, too aggressive again?
Let's look at this.
Okay, so he played king h8 actually, because I think g4 immediately probably doesn't work. Okay, let's go back.
Yes, this is interesting. Because must take, I suppose,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe taking on e4, but
Maybe even taking on d5.
on d5 even.
Yeah, so that's why I think g4 didn't work
Yes.
immediately,
Yes.
but just as an idea, and maybe king h8 is one of the possible moves to start
Yeah.
preparing.
Yes.
g4, you can maybe later put the rook to g8.
Yes. Yeah, white has a problem with the a1 rook.
Mhm.
How to get that in play?
Yeah. The knight is also very well placed on e4.
Yes.
I like black's position
Yes.
actually.
Yes. Yes, me too. I like black too here.
I mean, in some cases we could even maybe consider playing h5 even. h5
Yeah.
and g4.
Yes, that is also possible.
Okay, very interesting position. We'll come back
Yeah.
to it. Should we move on to board 2?
Yeah.
So, Santos Ruiz against Lagarde.
Yes, it was this.
Where did we leave?
Bishop
We actually
B4.
we missed almost nothing here. I think we left here after bishop e6, yes? I think.
Yes.
So
Okay.
rook af1 was played.
And he played g5
Mhm.
in order to, well, to bring the knight here, I suppose. But let's see.
So we
No,
started
queen
with queen
d6.
d6.
Queen d6.
As we mentioned before, there is still a possibility for black, of course, to castle queenside.
Yes.
But white now played a4,
a4. Yes.
and black is thinking.
He's thinking. It look everything a little bit slow
Yeah.
for black, but he has a nice squares with bishop on e6, and he has the square e5. White has just, when I look at this, many moves like this, it
Mhm.
looks more like schabloon
Mhm.
moves, and then you come to this point and you see there is nothing to
Mhm.
continue with.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not so easy to. Okay, what happens if I castle queenside?
Yes.
I guess white will maybe play a move like a5 or.
Probably he wants to play a5.
And what is this position? Okay, maybe move, I don't know, king b7, or do we not need? Is the king happy on c8? Where is the knight going is one of the questions.
d7 or g6.
Mhm.
That is the thing, yeah. Go to d7 is defensive for the.
I was wondering, can I go to g6
Yeah, let's.
and then maybe play a move, try and put my bishop to d4 and maybe my knight to f4 or something like this?
Yeah, that would be possible too. That is possible. And then to proceed with it, you mentioned before also the break with c4
Mm-hmm.
comes also then in consideration. If you, let's say, if the big changes on d4, or then maybe take with the pawn, but then, yeah.
I'm wondering if once again, I wonder if we're missing something concrete in this very position, because I see the bar has jumped once again. I wonder if there's some shots maybe with taking on b6 and knight a4, or could there be something we are missing in this very position?
Yeah. If there is some play on the A line with the B or yeah, to break with B4 and then knight A4, but
I think black
I
needs to. I think black's position is fine, but he needs to be
Yeah.
careful. It's easy for us here to make moves like
Yes.
castling and knight g6 without
yes,
thinking too much. But of course, black needs to be very careful.
yes. In general, positionally, black is very good
Yes.
in the game.
Yeah. So, at the moment, black is thinking after a4. So, he must be considering castles. Maybe also knight g6 immediately. There are many
Yeah.
options, I guess.
Yes.
So we'll come back. We'll
Yeah.
come back here. Let's move on to board 3.
Yeah.
So that is Frode Urkedal and Katikian.
3 here. Urkedal, yes. Urkedal against Kati.
So we left
Yeah.
the position.
Ah,
Really?
yeah, that was this.
Yeah, we left it here after b6. So white now continued with rook g1.
B6, what happened? Rook G1, yes.
And a5, the move
A5, yes.
we discussed.
To fix a knight on
Mhm.
C5, just. Queen C2.
And a4.
A4.
And a3. What is this a3 move? I guess you want to stop a3, but at the same time, I guess you don't really want to create that hole on b3.
No, yeah, this is normally it goes maybe like this. If white plays a3 with idea to try to push the knight away, then you play a4, so you can take en passant if the pawn was. And now black plays a4, and then one plays a3. it's giving this hold.
How much of a problem is it, or is it not such a big?
Or if there are some other things here, if it's hanging here sometimes, but I don't really think so. But in such position can also just defend it with bishop d7 to keep, so it cannot take on c5 either.
Okay, so black played bishop d7.
Yes.
And white king b1.
King b1, okay. Rook b8, It's against bishop takes c5. Or otherwise I don't see why he places the rook on b8. Yeah, I don't see actually the point so well.
I'm also confused. And white played f3.
Yes.
And rook f7.
Rook f7. Looks good.
And that is the position we have right now.
This is, this is interesting. It seems a lot of play, sharp game. Here I cannot predict at all.
I'm just looking at the position, wondering if I had a choice. Would I take white? Would I take black? I'm a bit still confused by this rook b8 move. I'm still trying to understand what the idea was behind rook b8.
Yes.
And even rook f7.
Maybe somehow trying to put the pieces in better positions, but I don't know where they're standing base. But here, this a4, c5, d7, these three are standing well, and the knight probably okay too. But these are well, good pieces, keeping here.
But what is I see that the pieces are standing well, but what is the plan for black? Are there any breaks? Or are we just maneuvering our pieces to better squares?
Probably there are no breaks. One idea can be to also always to move the king to h8, just to. But now.
What about white? Does white have any breaks?
White has some plan here. The plan for white could be with g4, unless the knight is hanging on h4, but in g4 trying to obtain the white squares here, f5 and e4 for minor pieces. Otherwise, I don't see how to proceed here for white.
One more time, by the way, just to point out that in this game, time could become a factor at some point. Black is down to 15 minutes for 22 more moves.
Yeah, and it's not so easy to play. To play useful moves at least.
Maybe it's a strange explanation, but rook b8, it could just be, like black struggling to find a plan and to think, okay, rook b8 might be useful, but without there being really an actual follow-up and just waiting to see what white is going to do.
Yeah, I believe.
Okay, so let's let white figure out a plan. Let's move on. Let's go to board 4. Volkov and Lalit Babu.
Yes.
That has developed quite a bit. Shall we go back to where we left it off?
Yes.
It
was maybe there. Yeah. And look, he played very hard. He's very ambitious to play for f4. Then it changes the strategy, no?
Mhm.
For normally, now the e pawn is weak, but in those positions when you play for f4, then normally you have your rook on f1
Mhm.
and the other rook on e1, and then you try to push maybe
Mhm.
with f5, g4, and place a knight on maybe on f4 or even the rook on f4,
Mm.
and then going to push up with all the 3 pawns.
Mhm.
But now with the rooks here playing, so he's playing on both sides.
Yes, it's slightly
And this-
unusual to see this f4
Yeah.
move with all the pieces on the queen side.
Yes, this is more. I feel it's maybe more weakening than making it strong.
Mhm.
I would be afraid to play
Mhm.
this move.
So let's see. So black reacted with knight f8.
Knight f8, yes.
Now white went knight a4, threatening
Yeah, he
knight b6.
yes. Queen d8.
And b4.
b4.
As you said earlier, it's very likely that we will get a pawn structure where white has the 5 pawns against the 2 pawn islands, the CD pawn and the FGH.
Yes, but then it is better for black when f4 is played, if there will be that position.
Yeah.
Then because he has some counter play on e3, and so that can be about equal because of that.
Mm.
Or it would be easier for white if the pawn is on f2. Then everything is well in front of the king, and then just to play on the pawn on c6 to pressure there. But now he has to look out at least for
E3 also for the holds on e4,
yes,
on f5.
yes,
Okay, so let's have a look. Knight e8
yes. That is,
and
he
knight.
wants to come to d6.
The knight is jumping to c5,
Yes,
and after b6, white takes on e6.
so knight takes
And f5. So white is pushing those pawns.
f5. Knight g5. Yeah, this is good square. No, yeah, now the squares here and white gives black
A
more
lot of
more counterplay than he would normally have from this position.
yeah. Maybe white is being a bit too ambitious at the moment.
Yeah, he is ambitious, pushing that's hard with the pawns.
Needs to be careful not to over push. Let's have a look. So
Yes.
h4, giving up, creating even more
Yes,
possible potential weaknesses.
and here, if this knight comes to f6 and the other one to d6, and then if he can get the rook to the e line, and then he can suddenly jump to e4. And if he jumps to e4, always recapture with the piece, never with the pawn, always with the piece. And finally at the end with the rook, and then only black can have better game in that position.
So white played knight f3, defending the pawn on h4,
Yes.
and knight
No, knight
jumped to f6,
Good.
knight e5.
Knight e5 also, okay.
So hitting the pawn on c6, and
Now,
black played queen e7. So now the point is, if white takes on c6, e3 is hanging.
yes.
So white plays queen f2, defending the pawn, and black pushes c5.
c5, yes, good. Black is playing well here.
Yeah.
He's playing really well. b5.
I mean, I have to say I really like black's position here after c4, but let's have a look what would have happened if we had taken
Yes.
on c5.
So b6 takes.
And it would probably lead to the same structure where black would also play c4 because we cannot take on c5 because the knight is hanging on e5.
This is a position where I would like to move the queen and play f5, f2 again. Yeah.
Also, maybe bring back the h4 as well, the h pawn also.
On h3. This is because everything is set up for this g4, g5.
Yes.
But if it doesn't come to this shot, then everything has failed.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
He's taking gambling. Or he's
Yeah.
gambling.
But it's a big gamble because after b5, c4, bishop c2, knight d6,
Yes.
black has sort of gotten very close to this ideal setup that
Yes,
we were talking about.
Yes. This is really, really good. Yeah.
So how do we proceed? Do we bring a rook to the e file? What do we do?
Well, it would be nice to get rid of this knight somehow.
Yeah.
But the only way to do that is to play knight here in f6, but then there's a hole on g6.
What if we exchange one knight?
Yes.
If we play something like knight d7?
Yeah, that would be also good, I think.
Can I maybe also start by playing rook a2? Just try and
Maybe this first here.
or even rook a3, I'm not sure which one is better. Or rook a5.
To hit the pawn also.
Maybe rook a5 is interesting.
Yes.
The whole knight c6.
Yes, knight c6, yes.
Yes, that we
Knight
need to
c6,
look out for.
yeah.
Okay, so rook where? Either a2 or a3?
Yes.
Let's go to a2 maybe. Or a3. I don't know.
Yeah, you decide. Put it in the middle here. Because both moves are surely good,
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
So on a3 we are hitting e3, on a2 we are potentially hitting c2.
Yes.
You tell me, you choose a square.
I don't. Maybe a2. Maybe a2
Okay.
to have, because they cannot move the rook here, and the bishop is not.
Also, in some cases, if we move the knight from d6, potentially the queen could later come into a3.
Yes. And if you play for this g4, that, yeah.
I have to say, I really, really like black here.
Yes, me too.
And it feels like these pushing the f and the h pawns was maybe simply over optimistic or over pressing. Okay, let's let black think, but I think the position is looking extremely promising for Lalit Babu.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to a game. Maybe let's pick a game we haven't seen yet, something new. How about someone from the audience? Does someone want to pick a game if we give you the list?
Please. Maybe to see.
Who shall we see?
Is,
Oh, you, Ulf, you pick a game.
maybe Kobalia.
Let's have a look at Kobalia.
Yes.
We have a rook ending.
Oh,
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
Okay, so a rook ending a pawn up for
pawn up.
Kobalia.
Yes. And he is on move as well. Yeah.
What is your first impression? Is it winning for white? What would you say without too much?
I'm not sure winning, but it's good for white.
Rook
really
c7
good.
looks like
Maybe
an obvious candidate.
Yes. Because, yeah, he did this. Because there is no time for rook e8 and rook e7 now. For instance, if he would have played rook f5 instead, then rook e8, rook c7, rook e7 in time. And now if he's defending this, then rook f5 just, and he cannot keep the f7. And if rook e8, then he takes a pawn. And then if e5 will be taken a7.
And we take on a7, and that is winning.
And yes, two protected pass pawns here.
So what can black even do?
So I don't see really good defense. Or no, because I was thinking first rook here, but even then it would be possible to play g3 if rook f3, king g2 to force a rook away from the f file, and then rook f5
And when
again.
we get the two rooks on the 7th, that
Yes.
is probably just winning.
Yes, I guess so too, yes.
Okay, so it looks like Kobalia
It
is
looks,
very likely to win this game.
yes, I believe too.
Okay, so let's go back to our lists. Can I pick a game?
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. Actually, I want to have a look at Donchenko against Eggleston because they are both
yes.
teammates of mine. Alexander Donchenko in the French league, David Eggleston in the English league.
Yes.
But it looks like White is a queen up. So White has a queen for a bishop and a rook. But the problem is that Black has just retreated bishop c8.
Yes.
And maybe materially, in some cases, the bishop and the rook can be okay for the queen, but it looks like here simply black is too undeveloped,
Yes.
too uncoordinated.
Yes. It seems so.
Once again, rook c7 looks like one potential candidate.
Yes. Yes. I don't see moves for
Yes,
black
yeah.
after, yeah.
I mean, I know Alexander is he's a young player, but he's very accurate in his conversion.
Yes.
I've played on a team with him for a few years now, so I have no doubt that he will win. He will win this game.
Yes.
Okay, so back to the list we go. Let's go to the boards 11 to 20, rook c7 is on the board.
Yes.
Why does the list keep disappearing? Let's go to boards 11 to 20. So that game, board 18, we said to you earlier that unfortunately Zhu Chen didn't turn up at the game, probably unaware that there was an earlier starting time. Johannes Haug and Debashish Das, did I click that? No, it just disappeared. That finished in a draw. What else? Let's go to, you always like to see the games of Kaido Coulards.
Yeah.
Shall we check?
Yes.
Shall we check his game against Lauren Costa? Okay, so at the moment White is a pawn up, but the black bishop pair looks very strong.
There is some good squares here. And the pawn is also hanging on d5.
But time situation, I've seen Lauren da Costa be short on time in a few of his games.
Yes.
I like his position at first sight, but only 11 minutes on the clock.
Yes.
For 24 moves.
It's not easy.
No.
That is not easy.
I mean, okay, there is an immediate threat in the position of bishop c2.
Yes. That is just to win the
knight.
The knight, yeah.
So White needs to do something about that threat. No. Are you looking at knight d4?
Knight d4. Perhaps bishop e4.
Let's put it on the board.
Yes.
So let's see.
Bishop here. He will win
I mean,
Black
if
the
black
pawn.
wins the pawn back, which it looks like he will do,
Yes.
I mean, black must be more than fine, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think this is a position we will come back to in a little bit because it's very likely the players will get quite short on time,
Yes.
and it's probably going to be an interesting battle. Shall we go back to Tiger's game?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So Tiger, I think, was on board 16, so we're gonna have to scroll down. No, board, where was he? Board 13.
There, yes. Yeah, he
So-
did
So,
take bishop.
no,
take-
he played a
No,
bishop
bishop
g5.
And then f6
Yeah.
and bishop h4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he really gets into many strange positions he
Yes.
gets. But
But I'm confused about what happens after the games that have been played. I mean, why is black not just winning a piece?
yeah, this happened. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. But he plays for the same idea with giving up a piece but playing for squares.
Mhm.
But he could have done it in the other way with
With
two
taking.
pawns.
Yes.
With two pawns.
Yes. Yeah, so what we are talking about when you were commentating with Laxis in this position was that it was one option to take on e5.
This, and that move,
Mhm.
and then playing for two pawns and playing on the white squares.
Mhm. Yeah, so that was an interesting option, but
Yes.
instead Tiger played bishop g5, and he is now still giving up a piece, but maybe with less compensation. So he's going bishop h3.
Yeah, this is good move. But the thing is that he has no pawn for the
Mhm.
for the piece yet. But maybe it's not so important. Maybe he can later maneuver the knight also and to get some position where he wins an exchange. And if you see this bishop on e7 is not so great.
Mhm.
And the pawns on black as well. This is typical Hilary Persson
Yes.
play, yeah, and it's a lot of imaginations.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it is
yes.
good. It's nice.
So
Yes.
Black decided he was in no rush to take the piece.
No.
So he played knight g7,
Yes.
and Tiger put his knight to e4.
E4. Yes.
And that is the position we have on the board. Once again, we've mentioned a few times that Tiger quite often gets into time trouble, and this is another game that is
Yeah.
likely to, something to happen
Yes.
in about, half an hour's time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now Black decided it was
He
time to
took-
take the
he took.
bishop.
No. Yes. Maybe takes.
No, it takes. Let's have a look.
Now it's a question if it takes. Rook takes.
So let's put that on the board. Bishop takes d6. Rook takes.
Takes. And rook f7.
7.
And
Rook d1.
comes this.
And maybe rook c7. Actually, could I?
Maybe f5.
Uh-huh.
Maybe f just to
Yeah, f5 seems to make sense.
close the bishop.
Yeah.
But how is it 2, 4, 6? Well, he has one pawn, but he needs to win.
Can I play queen d5?
Queen d5, yes. No. I have to defend, no? But then you, if you want...
My idea was to then follow it up with e4 once I've moved the queen out of the way.
Yes. It's a lot of play.
It looks like a lot of play for white.
Maybe
yes.
difficult play for black.
Yeah.
It's more difficult play for black than for white, so to say.
Yeah.
And suddenly some inaccurate move by black, then white can be just winning.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because if white can get the material back, then...
Yes, then he's positionally much better, just.
Yeah, and black did take on d6.
Yes.
Rook d6 will appear on the board. And the question is, does black really have a... I mean, black doesn't have so many options to defend this knight.
He probably needs to play rook c7 and rook f7 and f5. And then white has... Yeah, white can get another pawn then we're on b6 if he wants, when the rook is on c7. But maybe there are better moves even. More possibilities.
Okay, I think we will leave them to it, and I think it's time for our first break of the day.
Okay.
So we are going to take a 15-minute break, and we will be back at 3 p.m. Stockholm time, which is Central European. We'll be back at 3 p.m. with all the time trouble action.
Yes.
So thank you for watching, and we'll see you then. And welcome back to round 5 of the Rilton Cup. We're back from our break. I'm still here with Grandmaster Ulf Andersson. And there have been the first few results on the top 10 boards while we were on break. So as you can see, the game between Volkov and Lalit Babu finished in a draw somewhat surprisingly. And then Kobalia won against Holm, that rook ending, which we saw, which looked completely winning.
Yes.
And Santos Latasa has beaten Hauger. So let's just come to this game between Volkov and Lalit Babu, which we thought looked very promising for black, because they agreed a draw quite shortly. So let's see what happened here after Queen F4.
Knight E4.
When we looked at this previously, we thought that white had maybe played too ambitiously with pushing the pawns on the king side, creating too many weaknesses.
Yes. Knight C6.
And it looks like in this position the players just repeated moves. So black went Queen F6, knight went, white went Knight B4.
Because in such a position, the threat can also be rook takes C6 and queen takes C6.
And the pawns are going to be very strong.
Yes, and you protect the pass pawn, and you have this square forever on E4, which is the knight is superior, the rook even from in that position.
I have to say I'm incredibly surprised by what happened next, because white went back
This.
and they just repeated moves.
Like this.
But it looks like black still has...
Yeah, but maybe he cannot
I cannot...
do anything. Maybe, that should be in this moment here then. What was it before? Yeah, this was a here. It should be here then. If he plays queen.
I mean, even
D7.
we see the computer evaluation behind the move. We don't see any computer lines, but the computer is saying minus 2.5.
Yes. It's
Like, of course, there is no way to win any material immediately, but it just looks like such an overwhelmingly nice position.
maybe queen D7 is a nice move.
I wonder what what Lalit was worried about, actually. I'm really curious.
Because in this moment, as he played here, now after knight b4, he cannot play rook d8 because knight takes d5. He's losing the e4 knight here. So he has to defend with queen d8 and knight c6. Yeah.
Even here, can he just go queen d7 again?
Yes, queen d7, I think, because if he goes knight here, can go with the queen maybe to d6, for instance, and you maintain this pass pawn and the knight here.
I think there's a lot of action on the other boards, so we should move on from this one, but a very surprising draw, I have to say.
Yes,
for me.
Yeah, if Lalit would have played queen d7 here, he could have maintained the game going, because after this move, knight b4 has no point at all,
because the pawn is defended. Yeah.
So
okay, so a strange draw. Let's go. Where should we go? Let's go to Gopal against Golami, because it looks like. So we left this one off here. I think let's just quite quickly maybe play through the moves to get to the current position. So black had to eliminate the knight. The queens came off the board. Rook d2, king f1. I'm playing through the moves a bit quickly because time trouble is approaching and we have a few games where a lot is happening. So I just want to get to the current position. Knight e5. One pair of rooks came off the board. King d1. knight
Yes.
d3,
Ah,
and we got another rook ending.
yes.
And I should let
Oh.
you really take over. You're the
Oh.
expert here.
But interesting this anyway. It is.
So I guess black is about to win a pawn, but the problem is his king here.
Yes.
His king, which can never really get into the game.
It should be with the rook.
Yeah, so white
I
just
mean-
played rook c4,
Yes.
and probably it's
Well-
not even such a big problem for white that he is pawn down, and simply it looks like rook a4 is just losing on the spot
And then this.
to rook c7.
Yes.
And the f pawn probably is gonna be too strong. King g8, rook g7,
Yes.
and g5, and the two pawns.
Yes. Check.
Looks like this game is about to be over.
Just to go up with
Yeah.
the king.
Could it be actually this?
Yes, he's just winning the
Yeah.
game.
So that one is going to be over. Potentially black has resigned already. I'm not sure. So let's move on. Let's go back to our top boards. Let's go to board 1.
Yes.
So Heberla against Nabati. Last we checked, we quite liked black.
No, black is quite positional as well, standing well positionally, because has a nice square on d4 for the knight, and has here okay also
Mm-hmm.
on the f line, and the black king is, well, it's in the pin, but
Yeah, I was just wondering, do we have to move the king out of the pin?
if we shall.
Oh, sorry, the knight is attacked at the moment.
But after
So c5?
C5, and then the question is
then-
after if it's needed to go with the king, or but even so, black is okay. I believe black has a good game.
Mm. I think this one we can come back to very shortly. I'm just gonna see where the most action is at the moment. Okay, let's go to board 2. That looks quite interesting. Santos Ruiz against Lagarde. So, yeah, I don't know why it's doing that actually. I might refresh. So let's go to Santos Ruiz Lagarde. That was this
Yes.
Sicilian game. So again, this is where we left it off. I'm just very quickly going to play through the moves and to get us to the current position. So
G4 is
in the end, black didn't castle queenside, but just played on the king side with the king in the middle. And we're almost at the current position. So one pair of bishop was exchanged. Black took on a6 and took on h6. And we now have this position where white is a pawn up. And black is the one maybe putting some slight pressure. But it looks like the black bishop doesn't have such great squares, let's say, at the moment.
It's a good defender here.
Yeah.
That's all. But nothing else.
Again, time is going to be could be a factor. Both
Time.
players
Pressure. Yeah, this
are just over 6 minutes.
difficult to play. This. Maybe for white is for black is easier because he puts rook
He has
probably here.
obvious moves, yeah.
He
Maybe even rook h8.
Yeah, rook h8, yes.
Okay, so white
Ah,
decides
he-
to
he-
swap the queens, which
ah.
makes a lot of sense.
Yes, to play the endgame is then it's easy to make moves for white afterwards. But also for black because it can easily be a draw as well.
Yeah.
Because difficult to do so much for
Yeah.
for white.
I know I'm jumping, but let's go to board 3,
Yes.
which is also very interesting. Urkedal and Kartikeyan. I'm just gonna refresh because I don't know why it's doing this. And hopefully then it will be fixed. Let me just scroll down to see. And hopefully it will be okay. So board 3, Urkedal and Kartikeyan are now in this position, which has
this
changed quite a bit from when we last saw it.
yes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Here.
Where did we leave this position? Can I just go back?
Bishop.
Did we see this? I think we left it here, yeah? King b1,
Yes.
King b1 and rook b8 and rook f7. I think that's where we left
Yes.
it. So we were wondering about these last two black moves, rook b8. We were a bit confused by. So white now and bishop f2, e4, opening that
Yes.
bishop's diagonal.
And now this is.
Queen f7, knight g2.
Yeah, he sacrifices. It's a pity that he must sacrifice a pawn, but otherwise it would be with bishop d4, knight e3, and a nice setup with the minor pieces here, and slowly playing for maybe g4 or just sort of attack here, with rook f1 and g4, everything, and yeah, this is to have a square, to have more play for black this
Yeah.
way.
So white took on e3 and black did put the knight on e4.
Yes.
And now bishop e1, knight c5, some more maneuvering, and here comes b5.
Yes.
C takes, bishop takes, bishop takes, rook takes, and bishop b4, and knight a6, and this is where we're at.
What did he do? He didn't do anything after
Knight a6, yeah, white is thinking.
Yes.
Okay, so black has given up a pawn. The question is, does he have any counterplay?
Then this bishop is
Compensation?
very good, no? This,
Mhm.
but and the knight is not so good, not yet.
But can we, okay, first I'm wondering, can I put the rook to the e file?
Then maybe I can take here
Seem to take,
with the knight first.
Okay, and after bishop c3?
Yeah, this is bishop c3. Yes, that looks good.
So let's have a look.
Yeah. This move. And then yeah, how to play this. Black Black needs to get this rook in play, the rook f7. It comes on the b line or
Yeah, I mean,
on the
suddenly
E line.
again, like the rook came from f8, and we would be
Yeah.
happy, I think, for
Yeah.
it to be on f8.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, this is. Yeah, what to do? To play a rook here, try to
Mhm.
weaken, but it's not so weak anyway. Maybe it's better to have to weaken this pawn side that
Mhm.
they will be taking and pawn takes maybe, but maybe it's better to have a knight here and a rook here to like can jump
Mhm.
with the knight and so.
Actually, White didn't play bishop c3. He played rook e1.
Uh-huh. Yeah, then I would like to take this one, but you take back,
Yeah, okay, so let's have a look. Also,
or maybe
can I take on a4?
maybe a4. There, yes,
So let's put knight b4 on the board.
yes.
And the question is, can I take on a4?
Let's see this, no? Yeah, this is a nice move. But must play here, I think.
Probably the only move, yeah?
Yes.
Then we take on b4.
And now,
Once again, we would be so happy if the rook was on f8 or the...
yes.
Okay, at least it's defending the queen, but still. But can I take on d5?
You can take on d5, but I think no. You will
Queen
check.
a8.
Queen a8. Oh,
Yeah. Um,
now it takes time to get the B line open.
By the way, in the game, he didn't take on a4. He took back on b4
Simply so, yes.
after 5 seconds. So I'm not sure
Uh-huh.
why he discarded.
Now maybe he can go somewhere else with the queen. Oh, wait, can he? I was thinking queen here, but yes, e6.
I mean, also once again, I really I don't like to rely on the engine so much, but I think it's at least to be trusted to some degree, and it says that it jumped from +1/6 to minus.
Yes. Yeah, that is.
So I'm wondering, it looks like maybe queen a4 was the move. Because now, so why is the evaluation changing so dramatically?
Maybe his idea, so let's say queen to d8, and then if this is taken, then queen to b8,
Mhm.
hitting here,
And we
this-
cannot defend
yeah,
b4.
yes, that could be the idea.
Mhm. Black is down to 2 minutes, by the way,
Yes, or queen f8
with the
this-
same idea.
With the same idea, yes.
So what happens if we take on a4, queen b8? Yeah, I mean, I quite like black. The bishop on g7 just is so powerful.
Yes, it's much better than the knight.
Yeah. And it looks like white is not really in time. Let's say if I played a move like, I don't know, rook. Not even sure where I want to go. What about, let's say, rook e6?
Rook e6. We take.
Or maybe rook e2, so I keep an eye on b2.
Yes.
Say rook e2.
Well, we take this one.
Mhm. And rook e1. No, but I need to already be careful. So queen. Yeah, no. Okay, let's go back. It's not easy
No.
for white to find a move.
Yeah, I cannot find.
Yeah. Because even, I mean, white still has a bit more time on the clock, but I think from experience we all know time is ticking down very quickly in these situations
Yes.
with 5 minutes
Yeah.
on the clock and 10 moves to make.
Queen
Yeah.
c6.
Queen
mo-
Queen
Queen
c6.
Queen c6.
Ah, so we're
this
threatening
is-
rook e8.
That is
And-
why he
and
played Queen
the-
f8, not Queen
Mm,
d8.
yes.
That is good.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's have a look. Queen c6. Mhm. Do we have to go rook b8 or do we have any options? Any other options?
Yeah, that is because if we.
I guess we
if
cannot
break-
really sacrifice the queen, can we?
Take
Mm.
here, and take on g2. It is rook and bishop for the queen, but it still has a pawn.
What happens if I... Okay, what happens... Okay, let's try and sacrifice the queen. It's not our queen after all.
Yeah.
So rook e8. Take on b2. Can we consider playing a3 first, or it doesn't do anything?
A3. But
Probably doesn't help. Yeah.
probably rook to.
Yeah. No, let's take.
Yeah.
Let's take
Yeah,
king c1.
and to take here. Or
Even yeah, can we?
just-
I was wondering if we could consider a3
We can check it.
because I don't think white has time to save the knight. Probably. By the way, queen c6 is on the board.
Yes. This happened. No, this is
And-
we.
And black has actually played
A3. or
black
no.
has taken on b4
Yes.
and rook e8 is on the, so this is on the board.
Yes.
Ah, interesting. I hope the computer is not gonna spoil our fun because it says 0, 0, 0. I hope
Yeah.
there's no perpetual anywhere.
I would like to take the knight here.
King c1 is also on the board.
Yeah,
Not
Did he
a3.
play A3?
No, no,
No.
he's thinking.
I would like to take the knight because then, with the idea of A3 and.
But the problem is if you take your knight, I'm simply going to take the a-pawn, no?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, that is right.
I would like to try a3 actually. Because I'm slightly worried that, so let's say you take on g2.
Yes.
Maybe I don't even have to take the queen immediately, or do I? Can I take the pawn?
Yes. That is possible.
And now I'm not sure. Now what? By the way, black has taken on g2. He didn't
Yeah.
play a3.
No, because it could end up with a draw, a positional
Yeah.
draw. With
Okay, I guess maybe now we can try to. Oops, no, that's not what I meant to do. What I meant to do is take that rook and try to bring the other rook to a8 somehow.
Yes.
Because then probably there will be too many threats.
Yes.
Okay, I guess you have to give a check, I don't think. Or maybe queen c6?
Maybe queen c6. But this, yeah, queen c6. But it's possible. Yeah, queen c6. But if rook b8, maybe rook e1. But somehow this looks like okay for black. If he gets just a pawn here and then he can make a setup with the rook and bishop against the queen.
Sorry?
If they change one pair of rooks. Later
So
when the
let's
queen
say,
moves,
so queen c6?
for instance, if one, oh now he's jumping a lot.
It's jumping a lot, yeah. I guess maybe rook b8?
Rook b8, probably this move.
It just looked, the white king looks so weak.
Yes.
Does white even have a way to force a draw if he wanted to?
There is no perpetual
No, it
anything.
doesn't look like.
That, therefore, white needs to exchange a rook to have the black king more
Yeah.
open in looking for perpetual or looking for, yeah, a safe position. But
By the way, just to come back to the game, so in the game, white took on a4, and they did follow this line we were literally just looking at.
in queen c6.
No, queen c6 is our analysis, so rook
Ah.
f8 is on the board. And still 5 more moves to be made.
Well, if he gives a check, and then maybe
Rook d2. Or
rook d2, for instance.
I think he probably needs to give a check. It just looks like queen c6 was probably too strong, too slow for some reason.
Yeah.
So let's have a look. Queen e6, king h8, and we're thinking rook d2, yeah?
Rook d2, or this is an interesting move to make.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look here,
Rook can
queen
give a check
e8
on
check,
e8.
and take
Mhm.
everything, and check here, and takes here. Probably this, yeah, rook game is a draw, but
Mhm.
black is probably a little bit better, but it should be a draw.
Mhm. Do I have time to play a move? Maybe not.
For instance, if I, thank you, if I play this, I probably can just take the pawn. Take a pawn.
And now
Yeah.
we're even fine from a material point of view.
Yes. Yeah, here it should be possible for
Mm.
black to have setups where he's safe
Mhm,
with
yeah.
the, with one rook and
Yeah.
bishop against the queen, just not with the two rooks. Two rooks is to play for a win for black.
Mm.
With
By the way, just to let you know that if we can trust the time situation, White's
yes.
clock is ticking down to just
Yes.
a minute. He has given a check on e6, and that is now the position. So we were looking at 2 moves here, rook d2, rook e1.
Yes.
They must be the 2 only options, I guess.
Yes.
Should we have a look at the rook ending maybe after
Rook e-
after rook e1?
yes.
So let's say I go rook a8,
if, yeah. So, check. I don't know, so. Yeah, which pawn to take now? F5 or to go to C7. But black is a little bit better in
Slightly,
both,
yeah.
no? Slightly.
Which one do you think?
Yeah, this is. Because here the rook is trapped here.
Maybe the rook will be better placed on c7. Oh,
Or C8.
Rook C8, yes. Go for the pawn on C7. Like this. Check. And
okay, king g6
yes.
and
then
rook d7. We take, I guess.
yes. And
Take. H5. And the king is going to come into g4. But also we need to watch out for the d pawn a bit.
yeah, the d pawn is good now.
Yeah.
But it should be a draw, this,
Mhm.
just in general, it should be a draw.
Meanwhile, once again, it looks like the clock situation was not completely accurate, and yeah, he has actually just played rook e1.
He did, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So he now has 1 minute on the clock, so that move was
Oy,
made with 30 seconds to
only
go.
1 minute. And black, how much has he?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think our clocks have stopped working, unfortunately. Meanwhile, I'm looking at on my other screen at Gopal against Golami, but I think we should probably stick with this one until they make time control. I wonder also if black has anything more ambitious than
Yes.
rook a8.
Yes.
Does he have time to, say, play a move like h6 or something?
Interesting idea, yeah. But then comes queen d7,
Mm-hmm.
and he will get rook e8.
Mm-hmm.
It changes the rook.
Yes, maybe we will enter this rook ending.
Yes. And if
Yeah, he
rook
has
takes-
played rook a8.
Yes.
Okay, I don't think white has a choice.
He has to go here.
Yeah.
Queen
I mean,
e8.
after rook e2, we're simply...
Rook e2.
What happens after rook e2?
Check and
Check
check.
and rook a2.
And
Yeah,
then
so he has gone queen e8. And
yes.
this is all happening.
Check.
Okay, so they have made time control. They are now going to play this rook ending. I think Orkedal is going to take some time here. He's just made move 40. I want to ask the master of rook end games. I have it on my other. So as we can see, by the way, Gajewski has beaten Thibault. The other results we saw before. But I want to go to this game between Gopal and Golami
He's
because
trying to fight here.
yeah, he's trying to fight, but I want to go back a few moves. So we left it off here. Actually, we left it off here.
Yeah, what happened there in this moment?
Yeah, and it
here. Shouldn't he take here?
Yes, I'm very confused actually by what White has
Or maybe he can just go back and forth.
done.
When he get no, then he played e5. That was good. But if he takes here and starts to give some checks, and the king will hide. No, he cannot. He take with.
And we're back. Sorry about this brief interruption. So we were just looking at this position, this rook ending after rook b5 check. And I was wondering why White did not take on e6.
Yes, if here we can look this check, and then if king goes down, then takes here.
And what if I hide? What if I play king f5?
King f5, then this.
And I will go to g6 anyway, I think.
And now, but this could be. What is this?
I think it's just completely winning probably after king g6. Huh?
What do you
King
King
g6
d6.
I want to go.
take? So
Yeah, I'll take. On h6. Or can I even go? Can I even go king h7? Does it? No, it doesn't
no,
help
no,
right
this
now.
is better. So
Yep.
and then rook here or here. But for instance, if here, yes,
Yeah. I'll just go back.
here, and then we have to. Yeah, this is the way, and then h6, and now you cannot prevent h7,
Yeah.
and now if he checks here,
We can even go to hide on.
and then if takes here, then h, then it has to go around, but it's winning.
We're in
H
time.
takes,
Yeah.
and then king here, and when in is here, must go here, and king g6, winning. So, and if he starts checking, the king just goes away.
I think something incredible is happening in this game actually, because after rook b5 in the room people can't see it, you can't see it at home, but the computer is giving an evaluation of plus 20, which
Oh, yeah.
basically
Yes.
equals mate coming up shortly.
Yes.
And I think both moves, both king e6 was probably the strongest, but also king d6. The
Yes.
engine is still saying plus 10. Then
Yes.
rook b6, and then this is, I think, where White started going wrong. I think probably what the engine is saying wants in this moment is to go back, maybe,
Yeah,
and
then you go
and
for
then
this,
after
and
take on e6.
Yes, and to
Because
play-
black doesn't really have anything better, I
No.
guess, than giving the check. But now White started going slightly wrong, I think, because suddenly after king d7, which he played, black played e5, and suddenly black is putting up a fight again.
Yes, it's a good play. this.
So white tried to be tricky and he played rook
Yeah.
g8.
Rook.
Yeah, I was trying to
Oh.
figure out what is happening.
Rook G. He did this. Yes.
He played rook g8, yeah.
Ah,
But black was also tricky and played king f7.
yes.
Because, okay, first of all, can we see how white is winning if we take the rook?
Then he goes
King e7,
here.
and there is simply no stopping
Yeah.
the f pawn.
No.
So black had to go king f7, and white gave another check, and now he has gone rook e7.
Yes.
But what is happening now if I...
Has to take.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then, if h6 takes here, but how that should be? Yeah, takes here. And then, no, how is? No, maybe check.
Can we play-
Check first. We check.
Also, what happens if I play rook e6? This time I'm not in time, or am I?
Oh, maybe this. True. Maybe rook e6. But maybe e4.
Oh. Uh-huh.
E4 he can.
e4 looks... He probably must play e4, yes? I
Yes.
guess. Uh-huh. Can we have a look at that just briefly, just to show the line? So e4. And actually, according to the bar, even black is winning after e4.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, maybe
No,
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 not after
no.
e4. But what is the move here? There must be a move for black here. What is the move?
Maybe king here.
Ah,
This is the move.
uh-huh.
This is move, king f7.
Okay, yeah.
But that's
Okay, so after so white didn't play rook e6, white played h6.
then I take here
Yeah, that is the
yeah.
game.
and then check.
Yeah. That is also the game. King f7 and h7.
Yes.
So they're now going to play this endgame. White has already queened, and this is on the board.
Who's on move?
Black to move.
Black. Should be lost. Should be lost for black.
Well, I'll let you have a look. I'll see if there is still any games that haven't made time control yet, although no, they have all made time control.
The king threatens to come back,
Mm-hmm.
and he's pushing. King can go a little bit, and when he push once.
I don't even know how to start with black. How do we start?
Yeah, with black.
We have
I
to
don't-
move the king up, maybe, I guess. Yeah. Or,
Yeah, and the king goes up also.
yeah.
With the idea of check, and to come in here just with the king, or to take the pawn. And so.
Okay, let's come back to this one. I think also here the players are going to take some time now. So let's have an
Yes.
update.
Yeah.
I'll take the mouse for 1 second, if I can. Okay, let me. So those are the updated results on the top 10 boards. A good day for the players with the white pieces. Gajewski beating Thibault, Kobalia beating Holm, and Donchenko beating Eggleston. Then on board 10, Santos Latasa beat Hauge, and we had a draw, very surprising draw, on board 4.
Yeah.
So I think it's time to go back to the top 3 boards.
Yes.
Let's check in with, let's go back to the top board, I say. Let's go back to Heberla and Nabati.
And now here, white is better. He has a safer king,
Mm-hmm.
and a queen and rook. Against queen and rook. Yeah, here black has to be careful. he got this optimal position that from that he could get from. Let's say if you go back.
Shall we see how
20
we
moves.
got there? Yeah.
Yes.
So we left this position off. Let me click somewhere at random to see. This we didn't see. Yeah, I think we left earlier. Oh,
This Rook D7. Yeah.
where did we leave this game?
Yeah.
I don't remember when we last checked.
No. I was thinking with C5 is to
Yes,
keep
yes,
the
yes.
F-file, but maybe he wants to maybe queen out and rook coming into play.
We can click through the moves now.
Yeah,
Let's go
yeah.
forward. So white played.
We just make the moves now.
Yes.
You see, a queen there, rook back.
Okay, so this is the position we saw when
yes.
when C5 is
Yes,
the move we
yes.
looked at.
Knight E2, good move, very good move to change that knight. And even so, there will be a pawn on D4. It would be, of course, much better with the pawn on C5, so you could press
Yeah.
D3 pawn.
I think white did a very good job in this game actually
Yes,
to not only keep things under control, but even from the position we just saw,
He
the
gets
position we're getting to.
some initiative
Yeah.
even. And he wants to have the queen on G3, and he gets it there later on. He makes some waiting moves here, and now rook in, rook E4, queen B6, rook C2. Probably a move like rook F1 is not good enough for a draw, because the two rooks are better than the queen, and the black queen king is open as well. So he plays so rook D2. Now queen G3. Yeah, now he has his best position.
And now probably black wish he could take a draw. In this game we had an early offer from
Yeah.
white, an implicit
Yes,
offer,
yes.
let's say, to repeat
Yes.
moves. But now he's the one in the driving seat.
Yeah.
King H2, rook F4.
Rook E2. It's good. Everything good.
And that was the first move after reaching the time control.
Yes.
I think we'll come back to this one, since it's usual for the players to take, after
Yeah.
move 40, especially this one, both players were quite short on time. I want to get your opinion on board 2. We have another rook ending
Yes.
between Santos Ruiz and Lagarde. So I want to get your opinion on that.
Oh, this position. Oh. This is.
Because we saw this position, so we can again very quickly check how we got here. We saw it much earlier when white was just forcing the exchange of the queens. We've missed quite a few moves here, I didn't realize.
Black got the initiative in this game finally.
Yeah, because he
Yes,
was down a
good-
pawn.
But good squares, a good bishop,
Yeah.
a good defender.
So this is where we left it off after queen f6. And again, maybe we can just quickly click through the moves to see how we got to the current position.
Yeah.
Very active king.
Yes, very good. And look at this. E4.
And it looks like black managed to really,
Black took over completely.
in time pressure, it looks like
Yes.
white didn't handle the position very
Mm.
well.
Now the threat of bishop G4, king F2, and he had to go rook H1. And then rook takes.
So this is how we got to this
But
one.
he just takes. This is the funny thing. And plays king c3.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's well played by black.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, takes there. Yes, black is better, of course, in this position.
Väljer rätt och slå B3.
But this is
Yeah, I think there's a question. I guess here there were two options. Also, taking on d3 looks.
and it takes this. On c5. Because it's good to have the b pawn
Yeah.
pass. It's very dangerous pawn. And here is only one pass pawn
Yes.
out of 3. The e pawn and the d pawns are controlled by the f7 pawn.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's have a look. King takes b3.
Yeah.
Rook takes. King a4.
Yes.
So
Play rook G6.
instead of king a4.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a suggestion to play rook g6 to defend the pawn on c6.
Yes, that would be a possibility.
Let's have a look at that.
Yes. Looks safer.
Yeah.
And then to play with king b2, b3 and so on.
To be fair to the players, I think they were both of them in very big time trouble. So,
Yeah, yes.
like for example, Black only spent one minute on King
Yeah.
A4. Not,
Yeah.
I think he would have liked probably to spend more time if he had
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
But it looks like even this, he somehow found a
It
way.
is dangerous also.
Because yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's managed to get to a winning. Simply,
Yeah, he's-
the B pawn is too difficult to stop.
yeah,
Maybe.
Yes. Rook check. King there. Now push pawn. Yeah, looks good.
Mhm.
King up. It's necessary also. He can just push the pawn if
Yeah,
he
I don't
wants.
know if it was necessary. I wonder if, because if White is going to have to give up the work anyway, it probably makes more sense to start pushing the pawn. So to bring. Oh, what can we? The only reason I'm saying this is because I see, once again, without seeing any lines, that in this moment, at least the computer says -1,
Yes.
and then it jumps to -5 on the next move. So I'm wondering,
Yes.
what was the better move that White missed? Is it miss pushing the pawn, or
If we're pushing, then the first b2, I guess.
Okay, let's have a look. So d4,
And
b2,
push.
rook b1.
Here, yes.
Oh, I don't know. Is there?
Otherwise, king c4. I play king c4 in any case here.
And then I push.
Here. Now. Here.
Because I'm saying in the game, it looks like if we're going to have to give up the rook anyway, it makes
Yes.
more sense to push the pawns.
Yes. Like this.
No, I don't know. King f3 or
King, we have to.
king f3, or do we have?
Yes. We do like this. King goes. And rook rook goes, no?
Mhm.
Let's say we go here, make the queen take, rook takes, yes?
Mhm. I mean, I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, I think rook
Is
take.
it better to have the points, the rook behind or in front of the
Yeah.
pawns?
He wants to come here and here, but
Yeah.
this is difficult. And if he's pushing, the king goes back. Can only get pawns on
So
d6
let's say I
and
push the
E5, maybe.
E5, yeah. I know, but then, oh no. Okay, yeah, let's try this.
Yeah, maybe. Right.
It's probably winning for black, but he still needs to be a bit careful, I
I
guess.
think it should be winning. Maybe moves like this also, but or maybe we have rook b5, but then we can, then yeah. For instance, this would be funny situation
So rook
if
B5,
we play this.
king E4.
So, then king e4. I was thinking of e6, but no, king e4 is better. Is better. Yeah, that's why I wanted to play king to d3 here. Such position. d6 is too slow.
But we probably don't have much of a choice.
Or e6. But it's also,
Yeah, it looks like this is winning for black, right?
it looks like a win, no?
Okay, so shall we come back to the game, see what happened there? So
Yes.
so in the game, white played king e3, black played b2, rook b1,
King a4.
king a4.
Yeah.
And we're
should
gonna
be-
get a very similar endgame to the one we just looked at.
If he comes with the king here, but still it's very slow here.
Yeah.
He's coming quickly with king to c2.
By the way, the game on board 3 between Okadal and Kartekian, that endgame we were looking at, that
Yes.
finished in a draw actually very quickly. So this one we'll come
Yes.
back to.
Yeah.
Let's just see how that finished. So we left it here, and I think they went down the line we were looking at. Rook c8, rook takes g3, rook c7, king g6, rook d7, and
King d2.
king d2, which is maybe slightly more accurate.
Yes.
And
King f7.
and they
yeah.
just agreed a draw here.
Yes, it is. Should be a draw. Yeah. Normally, it's
I guess we can just play rook h6. Yeah.
It still has the d pawn. Yes, like this. Has to here, but then he can push.
Even try, yeah.
Can even push.
But the safe way is just to take on f4
Ah, you
instead
can-
of
Uh-huh.
no.
yes, and then
And
a draw,
yeah.
just like this, and king comes to the f line quickly here.
okay, so that
A good draw, good
yeah,
interesting
in a very
game.
interesting
Yes,
game. Yeah.
yes.
And then there was one last game in the top 10. We haven't seen it at all. That is a Wonder Liang against Kainanen.
This we should see.
So let's
also.
go there.
Yes.
Okay, so we're just gonna look at the current position, or we can go back a few moves if you prefer.
This is interesting.
So white is a pawn up.
Yeah, it looks good for him. Because well, the rook has to defend the pawn, because if the rook goes away,
Also, the black pieces are all a bit awkward. The knight is tied to the defense of the b5 pawn.
yes,
The king cannot activate.
yeah,
It looks very difficult for black to even make moves.
yes. For instance, if he goes away like this, there is maybe some tricks here. If king b6, you just take here, king c5, rook c6, and if king, let's say here, I think you maybe can go here, but and then here, I think you can take here, because if back, we can even play c4, but I was thinking
Rook d7.
of this move, because the knight is hanging, and when the king defends the knight, no, then not bishop e6, but there is bishop c6 in this
Very
move.
cute, yeah.
And he has two clear pawns more.
Very nice.
Yes. And
So in the game, actually, black didn't go to h4. He kept the rook on the d file.
yes, that is better to keep here.
And still white
Still.
went.
And the same thing, he cannot play here to b6, because check and rook c6 check.
And I'm curious, if we go back,
He must
can
go.
white play c4? Next move or not?
If he goes here,
But no, but maybe is c4 move
if
or no?
c4 takes, maybe d4, maybe c4.
We can try it anyway.
Yes,
Let's see.
c4. We take it. So
Yeah, because I was thinking if you go d4, I can go king c2, yeah?
Yes.
And rook a1.
Yes.
Okay, maybe I can simply go a4, no?
Yeah, maybe a4, yes. You said a4, no?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and the pawn is weak. Only if he could come up with a king and knight on the black squares with two pawns down, could have a drawish position. But I guess he cannot get all this.
No. Actually, in the game, black went to a7,
Yes.
and white didn't play c4, but he played king c3,
Yes.
which also makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense.
King, he wants to come with king to b4 and to win the b5 pawn. And if he is on the side here trying to give checks, then he will hide himself on c5, where it's very good. The king is very good here.
Looks like white is going to win this game.
Yes, it seems like so.
I will take control over the mouse, and we're just going to have a look at what is happening on boards 11 to 20.
Yes.
We haven't really followed that too closely today. Okay, and we're going to have a very early finish today, it seems like, because there's only one more game going on. So Tiger Hillar Persson has made a draw. Lopez Belon has beaten Eric Blomqvist.
That was well done.
Yeah. So let's just have a look at the game that is still ongoing. Rohit against Litian Io. So let's just have a look at the current position, which is far from easy.
Yes.
Okay, first I need to do a material count.
It's a strange position. Very strange.
Okay, so white is a pawn up is my first
Yeah.
my first conclusion I've reached, but
But the knight is,
the knight is attacked.
yeah.
Also h3 is also attacked, and also my king is in some serious trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's not like the black king is exactly completely happy either.
Yeah, what to do here? It's very strange position.
Yes.
Takes time to
Yes.
fix the position to understand something. Yeah.
Yes. I'm not sure how much we're going to analyze
No.
this.
It is too difficult.
Okay, well, maybe later we'll come back to this one, I would say. Do you want to see how Bellon beat Blomqvist, maybe?
Yeah, we can look at it. That's well done. That's
Okay, so, oh, it looks like there was a blunder. Okay, let's just go back a few moves. That was a brutal finish. Where did you leave the position when you were analyzing?
that was this idea with f4, and so that should be good.
See,
And
somewhere here,
And
Oh.
f4, yes.
even earlier. I don't remember where you...
No, I think it was here, f4.
So black
Yeah,
played f4
he
here.
played f4.
Yes. White played rook e5
Yes, it is.
and f3
f3.
and b4, and it looks very promising actually for black.
Uh-huh.
Yeah?
The idea is to bring the rook from...
I'll
f-
give you back control.
Thank you. To bring the rook to the king side, and then because when f takes g2, the white king is rather safe with the pawn on g2. There only f2 is the weak spot,
Mhm.
and this you can easily defend with the queen, and then say move the knight, and then rook coming over to e3 or g3, and this is interesting.
Okay, so black played rook b8.
Yes, rook b8, b5, yes. F6, Queen d2, yes. Queen h4. Yeah, now getting active here, and there is nothing going on the white king side. He is safe. Rook b7. Takes. So, and still, yeah, it wouldn't. It's easier for white when the black pawn stands on g2.
Because he's shielding
Yes,
the king. King h8.
knight e3.
It looks like Eric just blundered actually.
Maybe he should have taken this knight
Mm.
and play h6 or
Mhm.
something like this, and then to play with queen and rook,
Mhm.
just because, yeah.
Actually, am I seeing this correctly? Oh my god, I think
Yeah.
Eric just blundered his queen actually.
Yeah, yes, I suppose.
No, but it's unbelievable. After knight
Yeah.
g2, he played h6.
Ooh,
h6.
ooh. Oh, he just played h6. Oh, because here, he wants to play h6, and Basile cannot come out in time here, but I wonder if it is
After knight g2.
knight g2 just to move the queen.
Yeah, of course.
And it's not needed to take this pawn now. The white king is more open without the pawn on g2.
I mean, it must have been some sort of hallucination that the queen
Yeah.
was on another square.
Yes,
or-
yes. And he just forgot that the queen was hanging. Well, that was a very sad loss, yeah.
Mm.
Or it is.
It was not outplayed or anything. It was
Mm.
just a sad loss for
Yeah.
him.
Because I mean, it should be like, I guess even if you maybe just take the knight, the
Yeah,
white
yeah,
king
yes.
is probably
Ye-
too
yes, maybe
too
just
weak.
take it and here
Maybe it's
start
just an
checking.
immediate draw even.
To avoid draw, he must play this,
Yeah.
and then can
I
even
can go
check,
to h3 and pick. Yeah. it's just-
even pick up the pawn and make an heir. It should be enough.
Mhm, yes.
For a
So
draw.
that's a
Yeah.
dramatic loss for Eric Blomqvist. Let's go back now. We're going, I think, to have just a very quick last look. Let's go back first to this endgame, where we're coming to a
yes.
position that is very similar to the one that we analyzed.
Yes.
Looks like white is gonna be able to push his pawns a bit further, but still it's probably not gonna make a difference, I guess.
No. The only chance is to get one pawn, a pass pawn from all these three,
Mm-hmm.
with, let's say, king and rook against king and e pawn or king and g pawn, and the king is behind here and it's not in time to come back to block the pawn, only to give the things with checks and at the end white makes a knight on g8 with check, and king was on f6, and they change down and draw these kind of positions
Yeah.
in the end game. Because if you make the queen, it is mate, so you make a knight on g8, and it's well
But
known.
we're very far. We're very far, unfortunately.
Yes, but maybe
from
it's not
that.
even coming
Yeah.
close to that
Yeah,
type
yeah.
of position.
I
But
don't
that's,
think so,
yes,
yeah.
that's the only hope for white, I guess, for something like that.
Okay, so I think we can conclude black is going to win
Yes,
this one. So let's have another quick look at a Wonder Liang, who we also thought was going to win his
yes.
game.
It became this.
So we left this just here after king a7, after king c3. So black played rook c1, king b6, and picked up another pawn on d5.
No, you can just play this move,
Yeah.
and 2 pawns more.
Yeah, I mean black will fight on, of course, but white should be
Or can he go here? But then he plays
king b.
king here,
Mm.
defend. Yeah, 2 pawns more clear, yeah.
Mm.
That should be easy win for him.
So I think we're going to conclude the show with board 1, with giving a prediction of what we think is going to happen there, and it's yet another rook ending where white is going to pick up the d pawn.
Yes, and chances for the win, of course, there are chances. But I don't know if it is winning, only chances. The position is more dangerous for black if the queens are on their board, and
Yeah.
because open king.
So what is your prediction for this one?
Yeah,
Anyway, you will not be here in 2 days, so you cannot get any blame
yeah. no,
if it goes wrong.
yeah,
Do you think white is going to win this
Yeah.
endgame, or black will hold?
I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. I would, if I would play on soccer, so to say, I would make 2 results: win and draw. Yeah.
But I will push you to
Yeah.
predict one.
Yeah, yeah,
So which will you take?
yeah. Then let me see if I can come. So. Yeah, let me see. So. Maybe you win. Maybe you win. I would, yes, if I have to make a choice.
If I force you.
yeah, then maybe you win. Maybe, I would guess. But
It's going to be a long fight, of course. ahead.
but he will defend well,
Yes.
I'm sure. So.
Yeah.
But when, as you mentioned before, when he knew, knowing this now,
Then he would go back and take a draw.
yes, it was.
But he had a nice position.
Yes, he was
So-
good. He was good. So,
Yeah.
and clearly better time as
Mhm.
well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So an impressive effort by Heberla to even get to this position, and now he's going to press for the hours to come to try and convert this work ending. And I believe that brings us to the close of today's show, with only 3 games still going in the top 10. This one where Heberla is pushing for a win on board 2. Lagarde is going to win unless something dramatic happens against Santos, and a Wonder Liang is also likely to beat Keinanen.
Yes.
So, Ulf, thank you very, very much for joining us here in the commentary room.
Thank you very
I've
much.
enjoyed it very much, and I'm sure the people out there have as well. And tonight is the new year, as you all know. So, Happy New Year in advance to
Yeah.
everyone. Hope you have
Yes.
some lovely celebrations. Tomorrow is a rest day here at the Rilton Cup. I will be back on January the 2nd. It's back to the old starting time of 3 p.m. Central European time, and I will be joined by International Master Jonathan Westerberg. So once again, Ulf, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It has been a pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you. It's
Yes,
been my
that's
pleasure.
it.
Have a happy celebrations and Happy New Year, everyone out there. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in 2019.